Module 5, Love and Intimacy. Day 25 is about the 10 steps to intimate love. Your unique intimacy style developed at a very young age. The experiences you had from the moment of your birth and even while in your mother's womb and throughout the years until today have affected you in ways you may or may not realize. Intimate love is possible for you no matter what has happened in your past. You can create intimate love now with unfailing desire and willingness to follow the path of love, practice loving, and do what it takes to create and sustain love. In the previous lesson, we warned about the potential dangers of virtual love, how you can easily be fooled into believing you have an intimate relationship, and without warning, your world can suddenly be shattered. In Lesson 25, we revealed the 10 steps to creating intimate love, the slow and steady process required for the development of true and lasting intimacy and love, no matter where you are right now. Day 25 is 10 steps to intimate love. There's nothing more intimate in life than simply being understood and understanding someone else. By Brad Meltzer. The greatest happiness in life is the conviction that we are loved for ourselves, or rather, loved in spite of ourselves, by Victor Hugo. And just recently, I watched a short video clip of one of these perpetrators who shot a whole group of students in a school, and his brother came to see him at the prison. And his brother shared with him, "I'm sorry that I was abusive to you. I love you." And he kept saying, "I love you." And this boy that had been a perpetrator, actually murdered people, innocent people, this boy cried. And I couldn't help thinking that if he had known that his brother loved him, if he had felt that love before, maybe he would have reached out for the help he needed, and it could have saved a lot of other people tremendous heartache. True love is usually the most inconvenient kind, by Kiera Cass. So when we love someone, it sometimes leads us to have to do things and be in certain ways that we didn't expect to be, but we really love that person. And you don't stop loving someone just because you hate them, by Hanif Kureishi. So someone may betray you and behave in ways that you find so unacceptable, and yet you love them, because people are complex. They have a side of them that you may not like, that you may hate, but they also have a side of them that they've revealed to you that opened up your heart and your thinking and your feelings in some way, and you love them. Joyful, intimate love that lasts forever. How do you get that? How do you get from where you are to joyful, intimate love that really lasts? Well, there are 10 real steps that you can follow to creating long-lasting, intimate love. Step 1. You cannot avoid this step to really look at my current love status, admitting to yourself exactly how it is right at this point in time. What is happening now? Am I in a new romance, a long-term relationship? Am I struggling to even meet anyone? Have I just discovered that my partner betrayed me? Have I just discovered my partner has a fatal illness diagnosis? What is going on right now? And now how am I feeling? Am I happy? Am I hurting and suffering? Am I feeling ecstatically in love? Am I bored? Am I confused? Am I cheating? And am I having duplicity in my relationship? Am I hating my partner? Am I judging my partner? Have I recently been rejected, and have I recently broken up? Am I separated or divorced? What is my current status? Tell the truth to yourself before you begin any of the other steps. Step 2, love in my early years. This is so important to really look at and understand. Were both of my parents happy together? Were both parents together? Did I grow up with both of my parents? Was there tension, fighting, violence, separation, divorce, illness, death between my parents, one or the other or both, or my siblings or a close relative? Did I live with my parents? Did I live with one parent? Was I sent to live with an aunt or uncle? Was I an orphan? Was I adopted? All of that has an effect on the way you love now. And those are just the circumstances of your early childhood. But what about your feelings? Did you feel loved, or did you feel criticized, neglected, abused, judged, put down, humiliated, sexually abused by your parents, by one of your parents, by a neighbor, a friend, a relative, a sibling, or more than one sibling? How did you feel about your church or religious group? Did you feel spiritual? Did you feel betrayed by the religious group? Were you involved with sports? Were you good at sports? Were you involved with music? Were you good at music? What about dance? What about nature? Did you go on vacations? Did you enjoy those vacations? Did you get involved in entertainment? Did you have educational adventures when you were growing up? What about your friends in the neighborhood? Did you have friends? Were you isolated? Did you play with other friends? Were you with an in-group, or were you bullied by people? Did people visit your house? Did you visit their houses? And did your family compare? How did your family compare to the families of the other people you visited? And many more questions. Was there alcohol or drug addiction in your upbringing? In your parents, your relatives, your siblings, yourself? Was there mental illness in your family? So much to look at without judgment. Just kind of back away and really honestly take a look at your background. And if there are things you don't know about and you have other relatives you can ask about it, ask. Ask questions and find out whatever you can. Did your mother have difficulty during the pregnancy with you, or during labor or your birth, or after birth? All of that can have an influence that lasts throughout your life, because those first few weeks and months of life are crucial for your development of yourself and the sense of bonding. Step 3, what was your education like? Your love education and your experience of love in those early years. What was your unique love education? Did you have a crush on a teacher or a classmate? And was it reciprocated by that person, or did that person hardly notice you or invalidate or reject you? What were your earliest friendships and relationships like? Were you popular? Were you in the in crowd? Or were you in an out crowd but you were still part of a group? Were you a loner? Were you bullied or humiliated or embarrassed in front of groups of people? Oh, there were years ago that a teacher would put a dunce cap on someone and have that person sit in the corner, or beat them in front of others. There can be such humiliation. So did you have anything like that? Did you go to a boarding school where maybe they were abusive to you, or maybe they were loving. What was your experience like? And what were your earliest sexual memories with neighbors, cousins, relatives, parents, other children, older siblings, friends of your siblings? Did anyone abuse you in any way? Did an older person do something abusive to you where they may have acted sweet and encouraging, but it was inappropriate? What about the behavior and attitudes of your parents? Did they flirt with other people? Did they have wild parties late at night and not honor you and let you sleep when you needed to sleep? Did they have rages? Did someone throw things? Was there violence toward one of your parents or toward you or to one of your siblings? Was there chemical or other kinds of addictions, gambling? Were there activities that really were not healthy in your family that your parents or other siblings engaged in? And how did that affect you? And were there expectations placed on you of being perfect? Or did you have low expectations placed on you? Were your parents addicts of some sort and not paying attention to you, so you had to handle your life on your own? Were you really too mature for your age? Were you given the responsibility to take care of your siblings? Did you get support? Were you good in school? Did you struggle in school? Did you get tutoring? Did you get the support and help you needed to do well in school? Did you get support from your family if and when you had problems with other students or neighbors or friends? All of that matters. So take the time to look back on your life as if you were watching a movie of your life. Tell the truth to yourself. Step 4, my love, identity, and preferences. Are you heterosexual? Did you have desires for someone of the same sex? Did you have desires for someone that is the appropriate age for you, close to your own age, or someone much younger, or someone much older? Has this happened over the years, or did this develop later on? Have you had any experiences, sexual experiences, with someone of the same gender, or sexual experiences at a young age with someone much older, or a sibling or a parent, really something that is inappropriate at a young age? Who are you attracted to? Maybe you've had a sexual experience with someone of the same sex, but you're not attracted to people of your own sex. It was an early experience and you don't feel that way now. Or did you have an early experience like that, you liked it, and you avoided it for years, and you married someone of the opposite sex, or you lived with people or dated people of the opposite sex, and you never acknowledged that you really have desire for someone of the same sex? And with all the discussion of LGBTQI and people who have a different sexuality, a different perspective, have you ever felt that you were in the wrong body and you're the wrong gender, or any of those kinds of issues? Have you ever wanted to dress up with the clothing of the other gender? Have you been confused about your gender? All of that, it really needs to be looked at. And there is a lot of help out there. You can talk about it. You can reach out to communities and find out for yourself, who am I and what do I really desire sexually, in terms of intimacy, in terms of really feeling like I am authentic within myself. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. This is by Buddha. Step 5 is to really look at, why do I want love? Is it for a good reason to connect with someone to improve and enhance my life? Or is it because I'm so lonely right now? This is where it's a good thing to review your type of attachment. We went over attachment in a previous lesson. But do you have secure attachment where you're comfortable and you like being close to someone, but you're okay being independent and being on your own? Do you have secure attachment? Or do you have some type of insecure attachment? Are you anxious and preoccupied even though you say you want to be attached and intimate with someone? Do you have an insecure, dismissive, avoidant kind of attachment where maybe you come on strong at the beginning, but once the other person shows an interest, you kind of dismiss them and reject them and avoid them? Or are you insecure and you become fearful when you're in a relationship that maybe they'll leave you, and fearful of doing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing, and then avoiding them because you're fearful? What is your type of attachment? Step 6 is my love style, and that's based on the book by Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Languages. Is your style, your love style, something that makes you feel really loved, giving and receiving gifts? But maybe your partner has a different love style. Is your love style to spend quality time with a person and you don't really care about gifts? Is your love style receiving words of affirmation and providing these words of affirmation and being empathic toward your partner? Is your love style doing acts of service and being devoted to your partner, or wanting them to do things for you and be devoted to you? And is your love style more about the sensual, physical touch and the sexuality? And there may be other kinds of love styles. Very important for you to understand and acknowledge, what is my love style? What is the style that brings me such joy in love? And also know that about whoever you get involved with. What is their love style? This is based on the 5 love languages. There are 3 kinds of men. Men who do not understand women: young, old, and middle-aged. This is by an unknown author. A woman begins by resisting a man's advances and ends by blocking his retreat. This is by Oscar Wilde. Step 7, my love limitations. Do you know your love limitations? Do you live in fear of not being good enough or fear of losing your love? Do you have an insecurity when it comes to love, that maybe underneath you're not good enough and this person might discover that? Do you have a lot of doubt about love, about the way you love, about the way the other person might perceive your love? Do you have judgments in love? Do you judge and expect things to be a certain way, and if they're not, you criticize and try to change things? Do you try to control and manipulate the other person to get what you want? Do you triangulate in love? There are a lot of people that do that. In other words, you're a duality together, but you add another person, more than one person. Your parents, you talk to your parents about your partner, so you get them involved. You talk to your friends about your partner. You may even do it in front of them and criticize them and humiliate them. Do you have one step out the door all the time, so you always have a way out in case things aren't going well, so you never really have to face things? You threaten your partner with leaving, so then they get a little bit more careful about sharing their real needs and desires. Do you have a safety net, someone else in the wings in case this relationship doesn't work out? Do you tend to have an affair and You're in a relationship, you create an affair with someone else so that you have someone to run to when you break up. Do you never quite commit to someone? You promise things, you maybe go on trips and live together, and you do a lot of nice things, you maybe even share money, but you're never willing to make the full commitment to really love, honor, cherish this other person and be together. So what are your love limitations? Acknowledge them, experience them, tell the truth about them to yourself. Of all forms of caution, caution in love is perhaps the most fatal to true happiness. By Bertrand Russell. Step 8. I can create intimate love. Stop waiting. Start creating love. Study these love lessons. Learn from them. Notice the areas in your life in which you're not loving and you're not telling the truth to yourself. And stop waiting and start creating love throughout your life. Step 9. Decide, I am committed to love. Make a commitment. Commit yourself to really become loving. Commit yourself to loving the people in your life. Love them the best way that you can. And of course, above all, love yourself. And step 10 is reaching unconditional love at last. All you need is love. Love, love, love. But don't expect to remain in a state of unconditional love. You get glimpses of unconditional love. You're able to feel it at moments, at times, sometimes for long periods of time. But you will always come up against something which you don't feel loving about. Someone gets badly hurt and you feel unloving and judgmental. Notice those times. Have compassion and empathy with yourself and bring yourself back to love. Being loving is the way to truly enjoy your life and to enjoy everything that life has to offer you. These 30-day love lessons are serious and life-changing. You will see amazing results if you seriously intend to expand your loving and love fearlessly and openly. Join the Facebook group, introduce yourself, share your dream of love, give and receive loving support, and share your comments and thoughts in the daily lessons. As we close, remember, start each day focused on love. Ask, what would love do now? And always remember to ask, what would love do now for me? End each day reviewing the power of your love, the ways you turned away from love, the ways you shared your love freely and felt loved by others. The love pledge. Every day I develop greater awareness and communication, acceptance and forgiveness, compassion and tenderness, love, trust, and respect for myself and for others. Love agenda for today. In your Love Habits journal, write about love and intimacy. Briefly review the 10 steps today. How is your present love life influenced by which of these steps? What life period most affected you? Share your intimacy step in the Facebook group. The main reference for this lesson is from Gary Chapman, The 5 Languages of Love. Thank you so much for participating in these Healing Through Love lessons, and I can't wait to share again with you in the next lesson.